Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Thursday, Friday Eve to all of you. Thanks for hanging out with us and making us a part of your start. If you are already up and at it, whether you're listening on the radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM, available to stream up online at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your smart devices like your Alexa devices. You got the Wisco Sports app. Video stream also up and rolling on YouTube this morning. But a very happy Thursday to you all. What do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Brewer Crew bouncing back and picking up a win last night with the return of Sal Frelick and hitting in that leadoff spot. Sal with 3 hits for the Brewer Crew. Terang getting off the home run schneid and picking up a big 3-run shot last night. You had Cooper Pratt after getting benched, getting a couple of hits as well. So and the offense, they need to step up because Dustin May lasted exactly just 1 pitch last night. Dustin May getting hit with a comebacker straight to the back shoulder area. But the MVP of the game might be Robert Gasser, who came in out of the bullpen and gave the Brewers a little over 5 innings of relief work, just allowing 1 earned run, striking out 6 hits, picking up his 4th win of the season. But offense and Robert Gasser helping out with Dustin May lasting just 1 pitch in last night's game. X-rays negative for Dustin May, so good news there. Has a contusion, though. We'll see if he's going to be able to make his next start or not, but something definitely to monitor. So, but Brewers evened up the series, and they'll go for the series win later this evening. First pitch, 6:10, and, well, we've got the Miz kid, Jacob Mizorowski, getting the start for the Brewers. So we'll recap last night's game, talk a little bit about Robert Gasser, a little bit about Salvatore, Cooper, and then look ahead to tonight's Game 3 before the Crew return home for a weekend series. So if you're looking at the scoreboard, doing a little bit of watching, the Diamondbacks did help out the Brewers last night too, shutting out the Cubs 2-0. So Brewers maintain it, and the Braves picking up a win over the Dodgers, a 6-5 win over the Dodgers too. So Brewers getting a little bit of help last night. If you take a look at where things are at in the National League standings, Brewers now have a 2-game lead over the Dodgers for first place, 4-game lead over the Braves. And then if you just look at it from a division standpoint, you've got the Brewers here with a 6.5-game lead over the Chicago Cubbies. Plenty of baseball talk, plenty of Brewers talk coming your way this morning. Packers yesterday joint practice with the Arizona Cardinals, so essentially wrapping up training camp. We've got the final preseason game coming up tomorrow for the Packers. So we'll recap what went down at practice yesterday. So we had comments from Brian Gutekunst before practice too. So we'll go through that and chat a little football as we start to wrap up the preseason, and it's going to be coming quick because remember those rosters, 53-man roster, they're due on Sunday at 6 p.m. So, but we'll talk some football. We've got Jake Bilks joining us 8:30 for our usual outdoor chat. So if you have any questions for Jake, please send those on over. Hit us up with a quick text at 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, or you can hang out in the Section 105 chat. Also, we'll do a little 3-up and 3-down. If you want to play along, please do so. All right, you can send us your 3-ups and your 3 downs. They're like stock reports. So send those on over too. But I do want to talk a little college sports too. Got some more updates in the crazy world of college, and kind of our tailgate question from last night with everything that's going on. Pro players going back to school and lawsuits and transfer portals and this and that. I mean, how much has it affected your enthusiasm for college sports and maybe specifically for the upcoming college football season? Has it taken a big hit in terms of your fandom, or maybe not so much? You're just like, nah, I'm a diehard college football fan. Nothing can ruin that for me. Week 0 will officially kick off this weekend. First game on the docket, North Carolina versus TCU. But then you got USC in action hosting San Jose State, which is still weird to say USC Big Ten. Just that's never going to feel right. So, but and I know we got some high school football games in action tonight too. So best of luck to all the teams who are playing tonight. But hey, let's get things going here this morning. Let's get the lead off. We'll open it up talking some baseball. Brewers. It looked like there was going to be some trouble last night with Dustin May leaving the game, but thanks to the offense helping out the pitching staff, putting up 4 runs in that second inning, and a great performance from Robert Gasser, who was probably a little bit in the doghouse with Pat Murphy, considering his previous start. Bounced back and had a nice performance last night and really helped out the Brewers, especially when you look at this Brewers schedule and how many games in a row that they have. They needed that type of performance from Robert Gasser last night. So plenty of baseball chat as we recap last night's win and look ahead to hopefully a series win tonight behind Jacob Mizorowski. We've got intern Carter going to be hanging out with us here too. So let's take our first break, and then we'll get the leadoff going here, chatting some Brewers baseball coming up after these quick words. School is back in session, and that means the house is probably a little bit quieter. But after a summer of kids, pets, muddy shoes, sports equipment, and everything else that comes with a busy family, your floors, well, they may be ready for a fresh start as well. This back-to-school season, give your home an upgrade with Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Hey, whether you're looking for some new carpet, some luxury vinyl planks, tile, or something else, Carpet City Flooring Center has options for every room, every style, and every budget. So while the kids are back in the classroom, make a little time for your home. Stop by Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and let your flooring experts help you find the perfect look for your space. Carpet City Flooring Center, helping you put your best floor forward. Visit Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire today and get your back-to-school home makeover started. All right. How does it feel, Intercar, not to have to go to school right away? Is it a little different for you, like not preparing for some classes and such?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm enjoying my time off, though.
Right? Yeah. So I feels like yesterday, even though it was, well, we won't say how long ago it was when I was done with college or school. So, but nonetheless, that's intern Carter hanging out here with us this morning. And he will be over at Memorial tonight, catching a little Memorial football and Chi High football action. So, hey, before we get things really rolling, we got to give a shout-out. Jake from State Farm texted in already. We're off and on our way to get induced to have our second diehard Packer child this morning. We're strapped in and ready for the dogfight of our life. Wish us luck. Well, best of luck to the Jake from State Farm family, and congrats on the second child, too. So keep us posted and send us pics, Jake, so we can share it with the rest of the listeners. So thank you for sharing that. We got Bo with his, first Bo and Barb saying good morning on the streams. Bo says 3 up. Robert Gasser, Sal Frelick, Cooper Pratt, 3 downs. Dustin May, Chicago Cubs, and college football. Let's start off with the leadoff. Talking some Brewers baseball last night. The Brewers picking up an 8-1 victory. Sal Frelick back in the lineup playing left field. And thank you for being in the leadoff spot. He collected 3 hits with a couple of RBIs. Also got on via the walk last night. So doing what you're supposed to be doing as a leadoff hitter. Setting the table, being a table setter. And kind of setting the tone right away. But things got scary there for a second with Dustin May. First pitch getting hit straight in the back, right behind that shoulder blade. I think a lot of us just cringed when we saw that. He tried to go. It looked like he was trying to stay in the game and convince the coaches and trainers to stay in the game. But Brewers pulled him. And Robert Gasser, who was going to be in the bullpen, maybe was a little bit in the doghouse with Pat Murphy, comes in and able to give them a quality start on the whim, and 5 1/3, giving up just one earned run in the bottom of the fourth. And after that, the bullpen helping out the cause here too. Anderson going 1 1/3, and how about Bryce Wilson? 2 innings, 2 hits, no walks, and a couple of Ks. But Robert Gasser picking up his 4th win of the season. Now, really quick, Dustin May, X-rays were negative, contusion. We'll see how that kind of plays out here in the next few days here. But let's, hey, I'm starting it off because I haven't been able to say a whole lot of positive stuff. Salvatore yesterday was a little scary too when he slid at home. That awkward, is like, his shoulder, because he did reveal he has a torn labrum, so it's something that he's going to be playing through throughout this season. But I think you and I have talked about it. I know I've talked about it a lot with Brandon. And you look at these, the Brewers have toyed with a lot of different leadoff hitters, whether it's been Terang, whether it's been Chirio. I mean, William Contreras even batted leadoff at one time. Sal is the perfect leadoff hitter. Mm-hmm. Tell me I'm wrong. That's my Thursday. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong that Sal Frelick is the perfect leadoff hitter.
I mean, he's by far the Brewers' best leadoff hitter. Yep. He gets on base. He does his job. So he's much better than Garrett Mitchell hitting one.
Yep. Well, one of your topics too, since we're talking about Sal, is he the most impactful player on this Brewers? Now, let me follow up by saying, how would you define impactful on this team? Because it's not necessarily the best player on this team, correct?
Yeah.
So how would you define impactful, or where did you get the idea for this particular topic?
I think, you look back when Sal Frelick went on injured list, the Brewers kind of struggled. Mm-hmm. And, we were trying to figure out why. But all of a sudden he comes back and they score 8 runs. And it's like Sal Frelick has something, that the Brewers, he's a Brewers player.
Yep.
And, I mean, Cooper Pratt got benched yesterday, and Sal Frelick got benched last year for the same thing. And so Sal Frelick's kind of that guy that he's not going to do that again. And he showed that. He plays great defense. He puts the ball in play. He's the perfect Brewer player. And you wonder a little bit if they missed that. And their slump kind of coincided with him not being in right field playing defense, with him not being in the order hitting. And he hasn't had a great year at the plate. But his personality, the way he carries himself, and the effort he plays with is something, in my opinion, is really impactful on this Brewers team.
It's kind of funny that you bring that up, because I had seen somebody during the game yesterday reposted this from Pat Murphy with Bob Costas last year, talking a little bit about Sal Frelick. So with that, let me just play that clip, because it kind of fits what you're kind of saying here a little bit. So this was from the MLB Network last year.
So much has been made this year about how fundamentally sound the Brewer team is. Here you are, 30th market out of 30 teams. You lose Devin Williams. You lose Corbin Burns a year before that. You lose Willie Adames. You have the best record in baseball as we sit here. And now it isn't just the eyeball test. There's actually metrics that can measure a lot of this stuff. You don't lose a lot of runners on the bases. You take the extra base. You're very good fundamentally on defense. All the defensive metrics are at or near the top. You don't swing at pitches outside the strike zone as much as many teams do. All these little things have added up to a great record.
That's true. I tend not to look at the big picture very often during the season, but I hear those things and I say, fundamentally sound. Are you kidding me? They're not watching the game I'm watching. Or great on the bases. Really? Like, I just watched a guy over on third last night get picked off.
And now Frelick is going to be out at third.
He's the it on our team. He's the dude that represents, like, this is how you play the game. Like, really? But what we have that people aren't understanding, I think, as much is We have the right people.
All right, so that was just a little bit there, but he said he was referring to Salvatore Frelick. Pat Murphy is a huge Sal Frelick fan. I know I played the clip last Friday, but he was asked, I think it was on an Instagram post I had seen, your 5 most underrated players or overlooked players of all time, and Dustin Pedroia was on there, and he listed Sal Frelick as his top 5. So me as being a big Salvatore Frelick fan, I'm thinking, okay, this means he's never leaving the Brewers as long as Pat Murphy is there. But, I mean, he starts off the game with that hot shot where the first baseman can't handle it, gets on base, and he picks up a big 2 RBI hit to go oppo to open up some of the scoring a little bit for the Brewers, too. And you mentioned the Cooper Pratt thing, and I thought it was kind of interesting to note. We heard yesterday, too, one of the guys to talk to Cooper Pratt right away was Sal Frelick, and kind of go over everything. And I thought it was too big of Pat Murphy, where he kind of he's like, okay, maybe I was a little too hard right away after looking at the play. And I think it's easy for fans and people to look at that on TV and be like, well, maybe he wasn't just walking out and such. And I think it's big for a manager to kind of say, yeah, maybe I was a little bit hard and all that. But I honestly think it was just a message throughout the whole team. I think, and this is something I was saying yesterday, I think the whole thing was he knows that if they want to go to the series, they want to win a World Series, they've got to be almost perfect in every aspect. They got to do the little things right. They got to do the little things more than what the Dodgers, Dodgers could probably get away with stuff like that, right? All those other teams with more firepower, they could get away with stuff like that. Brewers, they can't. They got to almost be perfect and play at 100% every single time if they want to go out there and win that ball game. And I thought Cooper Pratt responded incredibly well last night. You could tell there was a little bit of extra pep in his step in that, but and I think that was just maybe a message sent to the rest of the team, and I think it coincided that, all right, you've got Mr. Guy who plays 100% all the time, Sal Frelick, starting things off and back in the lineup. It worked out, and I think it set the tone yesterday.
Yeah, you can nitpick Pat Murphy about his lineups or his bullpen decisions, but something you can't judge him on is discipline, and I think he knows when to do it. And I think benching Cooper Pratt yesterday was more of a message to the whole team, like, we got to lock in.
Yeah.
Our at-bats haven't been good. We're not good with runners in scoring position. Our defense has fallen off. It's time to get locked in and go win a division. And all of a sudden it worked, right? We put up 8 runs, no errors, and played really good. And again, I think that starts with Sal Frelick. When you have a leadoff guy that gets on 4 times out of 5 at-bats, it sets the tone. And, I mean, he didn't run on one of the doubles, and I was wondering if anything.
I saw that right away too.
Yeah, but I mean,
but then he hustled and got that double.
Yeah,
so
he's just a Brewersy player, and he does the right thing almost every time. And it was fun to see him back in the lineup having fun.
Yeah. There was the one play where Mitchell got thrown out at second. I don't know if you watched it. Then it was a perfect angle of Pat Murphy with the look on his face, like, what in the blank was that? Sort of like it was just like the perfect between all the squirrel coverage from the game last night. But yeah, it was fun to see him, and I'm still curious to see how that lineup kind of plays out, because Chirio, I think, probably deserved a day off just to kind of reset a little bit. But this was from Kurt Hogg, and this happened last night after the game, and I don't know if it related anything to the Cooper Pratt benching and kind of a message to the rest of the team. But Kurt Hogg said before getting back in the homer column tonight, Bryce Terang stayed back at the park until the wee hours of the morning working on some drills before catching an Uber back to Manhattan. His coach for the late night hitting session, Christian Yelich. And I thought that was a really cool nugget and a really cool bit of info, stuff that we as fans probably don't, more times than not, never hear about or don't know. And I don't know if that relates to what happened with Pratt, but Terang was definitely kind of in a slump, right, hitting-wise, and, putting in that extra work. And a teammate of his helping out too, and maybe Yelich kind of starting to turn it around just a little bit from the plate. So I think this is a team that right now they're trying to get a little bit more dialed in, little bit more focused for this stretch run because I think they also, too, it's great to win a lot of games in the regular season. It's great to get to the postseason, but you look at a lot of these guys now on this club, the Yeliches, the Turangs, the Contrerases, the Frelicks. They've been around for a few years. They've won a lot of games in the regular season. They've won division championships. I'm almost willing to guarantee you they're like, nah, we want more now. Right? Those are great. Let's dial it in and lock in a little bit more and go for it a little bit more, too.
And I think you see that in their press conferences, the way they handle themselves, and they know this year means more, especially maybe with a lockout coming next year, and everybody's cheering for them to beat the Dodgers.
Yep.
So that's a plus. But like you said, going into the postseason, you got to get hot, you got to get healthy. And Sal Frelick's back, Uribe and Romero both went on assignments at high A.
Yep.
And Contreras is red hot. So you're getting there. Now you got to have Turang and Churio start hitting, but the pieces are starting to come together like you wanted them to. And, maybe this is the year.
Yeah. And one thing that they're going to have to kind of balance, too, is Jake Bauers. Now he's got shin splints, which if anybody has dealt with shin splints, they are incredibly painful. I remember one year that I had to take ibuprofen for every game just to get through a game. It's so that doesn't sound painful. It's annoying. It's painful. And then that's with, I think, he took a ball off the toe too, so he's been dealing with that. But I mean, you look at Bauers; he's been playing a lot more this year, whether it's been outfield or in the infield. So he's probably not used to a lot of this with his legs. But luckily, you still got a guy like Vaughn, and outfield wise, you've got Frelick back, so you got some more depth at that point too. So, but no, I'm curious to see how this kind of goes. You got a big series with the Cubs coming up. Don't overlook the Texas Rangers coming to town, though, because you want to be able to take care of business there. And you don't want to be in a position where if you get to that Cubs series, all of a sudden it's closer in the division and the Cubs can go on a little bit of a run. So you still got to take care of your business and get the job done. I want to talk a little bit about Robert Gasser, though. We got to give that guy some credit here. We got to take a quick break. Really quick, we had Bo on the stream saying that Sal brings the heart and the leadership to this ball club. All right, quick break, and we got to give some love to Bob, as Sal called him last night. Bob Gasser coming in and pitching incredibly well last night, given the situation. We'll talk about that coming up after these quick words. Looking for your next great night out? Well, hey, make it the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire with live music, exciting events happening throughout the month, great food, cold beverages, and a fun, welcoming atmosphere. There's always a reason to stop by. Whether you're meeting up with friends or looking for something fun to do, the VFW Post 305 has something for everyone. Be sure to follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on all their lasted events and entertainment. That's the VFW Post 305, located 1300 Star Avenue in Eau Claire. So Bob Gasser, as Salvatore likes to call him, Robert Gasser yesterday, having to come in after just one pitch thrown by Dustin May. Again, Dustin May x-rays negative. Probably going to be a little bit more sore today after sleeping and that. But Robert Gasser, who probably in a little bit of the doghouse from Pat Murphy. If you remember, he got pulled during an at-bat, which we have seen Pat Murphy do this before. And, benching has been kind of a theme here with Murphy. But Robert Gasser responded yesterday with a very good start, very quality start, going 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, and a couple of walks. Did get out of some jams in the game too, but I think given the situation, you got to tip your cap to Robert Gasser, right? I mean, this is a team too that's got so many games in a row. I know my thought process was, oh no, we can't use a lot of bullpen arms, and this is a luxury I think that the Brewers do have, is that they've got arms in that pen that can eat up a bunch of innings for you. It just happened to be they had a guy who also is a starter that was going to be in the pen. And it worked out, but a lot of credit for Robert Gasser, having a nice comeback game, but also, I don't think any pitcher in a bullpen is prepared to get ready after just one pitch was thrown in the game. So I think you got to give a ton of credit for Robert Gasser last night.
I think it's kind of incredible. He only allowed one run, just looking at his stat line, like 8 base runners. It's a lot, but one run will take, and especially after a night where you did throw your 4 best relievers and ended up losing, you needed the length out of him, and he delivered, and quality too. It wasn't like he gave up 4 runs. So really impressive, especially like you said, coming out after one pitch.
Yeah. So big time tip of the cap to him for what he did. And he helped put the team in a position to win this series. And, I mean, you got Jacob Mizorowski on the mound. So, I mean, your odds instantly go up when you've got the Miz out there. And when we look at kind of the matchups here, not a ton of experience with the Mets players. You're talking about a game for some of these guys, like Lindor's just got 4 career at-bats. He does have a home run against him, hitting .500 with a 1.75 OPS. So, but, I mean, Jacob Mizorowski, he's coming off of that win against the Braves, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs. Before that, a win against the Dodgers. Not bad, 2 performances to pick up 2 wins against 2 of baseball's best. But the Dodgers game was back on the 15th, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. So Mizorowski looking to improve to 14-5 on the season. The Brewers will be going up against left-hander Sean Manaea, who is 4-5 with a 4.31 ERA. He's coming off of a performance against the White Sox back on the 21st, where it was a no decision, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Before that, another no decision, 6 1/3 against Washington, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. And then the 9th against Pittsburgh, he went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. You got some Brewers players with a little bit more experience going up against him. Vaughn, for instance, has 8 career at-bats. He's hitting .250. Yelich in 6 career at-bats is 0 against him. Joey Ortiz has a couple RBIs and 4 at-bats against him. Gary Sanchez, 8 career at-bats, 375. Contreras has 8 career at-bats, including a home run, also 375 against him. So I would imagine, like last night where it was very lefty-heavy, especially at the top. I think the first 4 hitters were all lefties, and then Contreras coming in at the 5th spot. Maybe a little bit of the opposite here with maybe a right-handed heavy lineup to go up against a left-handed pitcher too. But it also, going back to Robert Gasser too, it kind of worked out for the Brewers if you think about it, because Dustin May is a righty. So the Mets put up left-handed batters, and then you throw out Robert Gasser, who's a lefty. So if you're a big believer in the lefty-righty matchups, it kind of worked in Brewers. Not saying glad Dustin May got hit or anything like that, but it probably did help a little bit for Robert Gasser. But, hey, you take your wins where you can get those wins. Yeah,
just have Sal Frelick at the leadoff. I don't care if it's a lefty. Get him the reps at leadoff. I mean, he's the Brewers' best leadoff hitter if he can perform there. Mm-hmm. He's a perfect player for it. So I'd love to see him at the leadoff spot again.
And I think it's one of those that gets everybody pumped up. It gets them a little bit excited, right? It gets them a little bit more energized. You need that Energizer bunny, if you will, at the top of the order. So 6:10 first pitch. It's kind of weird for a getaway day too. It's a night game, but 6:10 first pitch. You can listen to the game on your radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, Brewers did get some help across Major League Baseball. Cubs lost. Dodgers lost too. So a little bit more of a lead in the National League run and in that division run. But, when you've got series like this against the Mets, where I know the Mets have been playing better as of late, Brewers are still the better team. You got to make sure you come away with these W's at this time of year. So, especially with Miz throwing today. This is when you got to get. Right? Yeah, I mean, that's the expectation. When you got Mizorowski going up there, it's, no question about it. So Brewers 82-51. We are officially under the 30-game mark. 29 games left to go here for the Brewers. Also, going back to Dustin May, because this was another topic that you threw out there. Should we trust Dustin May or Kyle Harrison more in the postseason? I'll ask you what kind of where did that was it because of the Dustin May injury or a little bit,
It's kind of what Kyle Harrison's done recently. He hasn't had the length that you've wanted, and he's pitched well. He had that hiccup in San Diego, but I think the way Dusty May's pitched in a Brewers uniform, you throw out that one start, it's very comparable. And I think you trust them both in a playoff series, but who would you want to be your 3, I think, is the question.
Right. And I think part of it, too, is – because I was looking this up the other day, and it was with Kyle Harrison's start. Kyle Harrison, numbers-wise, is almost a completely different pitcher at home than he is on the road. Like, his ERA at home was 1-something, whereas on the road it was 5-something. But this was before his previous start. And I'm almost willing to bet that when we get to playoff time, they're going to look at that.
Yeah.
And because Logan Henderson was pretty much even 2-something either home or away. So does that factor in? If you get home field, we know Miz is going to get game 1. Yeah. If everything works out, they could pre-plan it. Miz is going to get game 1. You might throw Kyle Harrison if he's more comfortable at American Family Field. And then, either Logan or probably Logan at 3 and then Dustin May at 4, unless you flip-flop it or something like that. But I think that probably is going to come into play if you break it down. If there is a big difference, and numbers-wise there was, you probably want Kyle Harrison to pitch at American Family Field and not necessarily on the road when we get to that point.
Yeah, and that would work perfectly. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we were saying Kyle Harrison was the second-best Brewers pitcher.
Yeah.
So it's taken a run from Logan Henderson, who's been incredible to kind of take that spot. But, again, I think you got to be super confident in the 4 they're going to throw out there. They give us a chance to win any game. Even Dustin May, I think. You look at his Padres start, that was the hottest team in baseball, and he allowed no runs or 1 run over 7 innings. So
right.
I think anybody they throw out is going to give him the best chance to win, and maybe looking at that would be smart then to start Harrison game 2.
Yeah. But we got 29 more games left to go here. These guys probably have, they're still going to do a 6-man rotation, it sounds like. I don't know if Dustin May changes that. I guess it depends on how the next couple days probably play out. Maybe you call up a Coleman Crow. We do have September call-up coming up here. So, you can add another player to that too. So, but probably, 3 starts left for these guys, 2 to 3 starts left for these guys before the postseason starts. But I think, if Milwaukee can get in that position where they can plan out their rotation, that would be a big boost for them. Mm-hmm. And right now they're on track to do that. So, all right, we got to take a quick break as we start to wrap up the first hour. Give us your Brewers thoughts. You can send them on over, 715-830-1912, or hang out in the Section 105 chat room. We'll be right back to wrap up hour number 1 after these quick words. School is back in session, and that means the family schedule is getting to be back in full swing. School drop-offs, practices, games, activities, and all those miles in between can put plenty of wear and tear on your vehicle. Hey, before your busy fall schedule gets too crazy, make sure your vehicle is ready to go. Just bring it on over to AJM Automotive in Eau Claire for the service and repairs that you can count on. From routine maintenance to keeping your vehicle running right, AJM Automotive is here to help keep you and your family moving. School is back, life is busy, so make sure your vehicle is ready with the help from AJM Automotive in Eau Claire. All right, we got about 10 minutes left to the top of the hour, so don't forget to send us your 3 ups, your 3 downs. You can also send us a little Am I Wrong since it is Thursday. We're going to get to some football talk coming up in the next hour. We had Mike a little bit earlier, and we'll probably hit this up probably in the next hour, but Mike saying, I agree, this all sucks with college sports. They don't want pro athletes to return to college football, but isn't the definition of a professional one who makes money to play the game? College sports is a profession, and that's what ruined all of this. The money coming in is no longer coming from NIL. It's coming from boosters and fundraising. If I want to watch paid athletes, I'm not watching LSU versus Tulane. I'd rather watch Browns versus Dolphins. But we'll talk some more about that. The question I kind of threw out there last night on social media on Facebook was, with everything that's going on in the college world. Now it's these pros going back to the college level, and now you're finding out more that maybe it was Lane Kiffin that was in LSU kind of instigating all of this. And then obviously with the transfer portal thing that's been going on for the last couple of years, does it kind of ruin your excitement for the upcoming college football season or in college sports in general? Dan on Facebook said, big time, the NCAA governance is so different than just 14 years ago, starting with conference realignment in 2012. No more extra benefit rules apply. It's a free market. These super conferences will walk away from the NCAA when the TV contract is expiring, which will leave D2 and D3 in the dark. But if you want to give us your thoughts, feel free to do so. I will just say, for your consideration, for anybody that wants to put up a 3 up and a 3 down, let's applaud the NFL. No more Pro Bowl. Yes, no more Pro Bowl. That was revealed yesterday. No more Pro Bowl games, no more Pro Bowl activities, whatever the heck they wanted to call it. So they will still acknowledge players who would have made a Pro Bowl, but no more games. So we're not getting Shedeur Sanders as a Pro Bowl quarterback. We're not getting Tyler Huntley as a Pro Bowl quarterback. We're not getting Mitchell Trubisky as a Pro Bowl quarterback. It is gone. It is gone finally. I feel bad because when I was a kid, it was something I looked forward to. It was fun because players actually played in the game, but players don't commit to it. I get it. Hurt. They don't want to get hurt. Whatever the case may be, I get it. It stinks. Now the NFL is going to be probably the only league without an all-star type of game. So that stinks in itself, but it was bad, and it was getting worse every single year. So you got to make that decision and cut from it. So we don't have to talk about Pro Bowl. We don't. I think my issue with the Pro Bowl was it was to the point, like, okay, Keyshawn Nixon made a Pro Bowl last year. Keyshawn Nixon was not a Pro Bowl player. You can't use that as an accolade. Now you can start to use it as an accolade again. Yep. You can't use that as an accolade, though, or a reason like, yeah, you should be a starter because you made a Pro Bowl. But how many people said no and dropped out beforehand where you were just like really going down the list?
I think that's the best part for me is now Pro Bowls mean something where they didn't, and you can actually use that to boost your resume.
Yep. And, teams used it and will probably now continue to use it as incentives and contracts. Hey, make a Pro Bowl, you get a bonus. And now I don't know if this was something that, let's say Shedeur in his rookie contract, for example, had a Pro Bowl bonus. I would imagine that he got that last year, right? Which probably didn't deserve it, but teams
as
were like,
eighth
really?
Reserve quarterback.
Right. So now it's a little bit more of a almost regular thing or a normal thing at this point. So, yeah, finally did it. Way to go. Way to go. But I do miss I remember watching, for a lot of times it was the Packers coaching staff because they'd lose in the NFC Championship, but like Mike Holmgren and Favre and those guys. And as a kid collecting cards, and you'd get like a Pro Bowl card. Like I have a Reggie White Pro Bowl card and seeing those jerseys. So, but the time has come.
Yes.
It's changed. The mindset for players has changed. So, got to move on. Well done. NBA, will you be next?
I hope so.
That's probably the next one. That would have to be in a chopping block, right? But I don't think they would.
I think they're going to try other things before they eliminate it.
Yeah.
Just because they like that week.
Yep. And I like the other activities associated with it, whereas like the NFL, dodgeball, I don't care. I don't care seeing.
I mean, it was more interesting than the game.
It was. But it's like, okay, I'm watching a bunch of guys play dodgeball. I'll just pop in a movie and watch dodgeball. But yeah, it was like, how does this relate to football? Yeah,
I think because the NFL makes so much money during the regular season, it doesn't even matter for them.
Ew.
Whereas the NBA, I think they may need it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, all right. You can let us know your thoughts on the Pro Bowl. Rando says, I'm okay that they don't play the Pro Bowl game anymore. I did enjoy some of the games they played, NFC versus AFC, probably back in the day. I mean, you had the Sean Taylor lighting up the punter play, and yeah, but It is. You can't play. And the thing is, I know some people are going to say, well, go back to what you. No, it ain't happening.
Nope.
Teams won't do it. Players won't do it. That's why I'm really curious to see how the Olympics thing plays out.
Yeah.
How much are teams willing to let their players, NFL players, play in the Olympics if it potentially affects or opens them up to injury for the regular season too? Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of money invested in these players. Yeah. A lot of money. NFL has a lot of money, but there's a lot of money. And let's face it too, TV-wise, those stations, they want premier quarterback matchups. They don't want to have to flex out of games because a top-tier quarterback is not playing, and you got to go to another game.
Well, and Joe Burrow talked about joining the Olympic flag football team, but he's so injury-prone. Mm-hmm. I mean, if he gets hurt and is done for the year, the Bengals lose their season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like even Patrick Mahomes wanted to, but he just tore his ACL.
Yep.
So do you want to – you can't really risk that again.
No.
Because then your real NFL season is over. So it'll be interesting to see who – Lamar would be the perfect quarterback. He just would be, but
he is the perfect flag football quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got the legs and the arm, I mean, he does have arm strength too, but he would be the perfect. But he's also a guy that's been kind of banged up, and we'll see how that plays out. But hey, maybe Tua could be it because he can't throw downfield, so it might just have to be around the line of scrimmage. And I saw this crazy thing that Tua, the list of players and the quarterbacks in the preseason that have thrown more ahead of the line of scrimmage than Tua, and it was just crazy. Like Jack Strand, give the kid more love from Bloomer because he's been performing incredibly well. But if you're not going to be a risk taker as a preseason game, what are we doing here?
If you're in fantasy football, draft Bijan because everything's going to be behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right, we got less than a minute left, so shot clock's going to cut us off here. We'll kick off the next hour talking some green and gold football as the Packers had a joint practice yesterday against the Cardinals. Anything stand out? Anything happen yesterday? We'll go through that and kind of with an eye towards the final preseason game tomorrow. Who's on that line? It's a big day tomorrow for some of those players. Their dreams will continue, or not to be so dramatic, dreams will end after tomorrow's game. But we'll talk some Packers football. Also, 3 up, 3 down. Get your questions in for Jake Boakes. Text those on over. And we'll definitely get back to some more Brewers talk coming up your way. And college sports, too. So we'll be right back after these quick news updates.